So, here we are back again. I was down for a couple weeks because I went to a couple conferences, had a cold, and uploaded one of the presentations from the conferences because some people requested that. And so let's dive right back into the game here. Let's see. I don't think Socrates might still be... Yeah, Socrates is still the only one wounded.
Now that we've finally got this place up and running, we should be able to access some of these dormant alien systems. Let's see if you two can play nice. What the?
Shen, getting some kind of interference up here. Seems to be hitting us across the board.
Working on it.
Something triggered your remote uplink. But how is that possible? No one knows these systems.
Shen, power readings just spiked. What the hell is going on down there?
Dad?
Commander, I'm too old to start believing in ghosts, which means someone had to access that unit remotely. If they can access Rover, there's no telling
This
what
is
else
the
they might
start
be
of
able to do.
one of those
I
other
strongly
DLC
suggest
missions.
we make investigating that signal our top priority.
It'll pop up here when we go to the map.
Incoming message for you, Commander. Patching it through to your quarters now.
I had high hopes for the Resistance under your leadership.
They're just throwing everything at us all at
and
once
you
now.
have outdone yourself.
Chosen are a tough group to infiltrate, but we've managed to gather intel on their latest actions, and have a rough idea of how close each is to reaching their ultimate goal of locating the Avenger.
Yeah, so there's 3 of the Chosen, and it'll give you a little idea of what they're trying to do each time. And you can see she's geared up the first bar of knowledge. When she gets all the way up to 4 of them, then she'll be able to do that. Although she might switch her idea of what she's doing and, you know, come after the Avenger or do other things.
Commander, we have intel suggesting the aliens are working on developments that threaten our ability to stop the Avatar project. We can conduct guerrilla operations to disrupt one of these efforts, but we'll have to choose carefully. We don't have the resources to intercede everywhere.
So, these are the dark events you want to avoid.
Commander, the factions
yeah,
have pledged
yeah.
their support to XCOM. They're ready to carry out your orders. As our influence with these groups increases, our capabilities will grow.
Timer does not
If
begin.
you've got something new for us,
Oh,
Commander,
that's not a bad idea.
my Reapers are up for taking on some additional
Oh,
orders.
well, we've only got the 2 of them right now, so we might as well do both of them. This one would have been nice when we had to, Oh. Our influence with them Reapers isn't high enough to even give them 1 yet. Okay. This one would have been nice last time when we had to recruit Plato, but I guess it only cost us 10 more, so that's not so bad. This pops up each time... Excuse me. This one pops up each month, and you get to reassign these little special orders, and they're kind of randomized as far as what kind of benefit they give you. And eventually you can actually have up to 3... Well, I don't remember exactly. It's either 2 or 3 per faction, but we'll see as the game goes on here. I'm going to do the time mission one.
We'll need to send our own soldiers out to work with the Resistance factions to complete these covert actions. They'll be gone for a few days, but this will help us build influence with the Resistance while generating materials.
You get more
This operation is going to require some field experience.
He's messing me up by talking over me. You get more influence with the factions by sending them out like this. Now, once I build the Resistance ring, I can do this all the time, not just a new one every month. So I think we should go rescue Mox, because he's a very useful guy to have around. So let's see here. We don't need to have any special kind of soldiers for that. To hunt the Chosen, we'd need to have a rank of Sergeant at least, and we don't have the... Well, we've only got Pascal. Oh, I guess we got 3 sergeants, but I don't want to do that yet. I still want to rescue Mox. So, it's a shame she's tired. When you have soldiers that are bonded together, they can do these missions faster. So... And this is also can be a pretty good way to get some of your guys who don't have any experience yet promoted. So I'm going to send Anscombe and Hagel out. And then they'll probably both get a promotion when they come back.
Covert is our specialty. Let's just hope your people can keep up.
Commander.
Yeah, I know.
The Resistance has a hidden cache of
Okay.
resources stashed outside of Advent's reach. But that means we'll have to fly over and scan
So
the
that's
area
my
if
supply
we wanna
drop for the
recover this
month.
stuff for ourselves. Looks
This
like
is the start
Shen
of
was
that
able to confirm the
next
signal's
mission,
origin.
DLC mission.
Putting the coordinates on the map now.
The cooperation
I'm gonna go get the supplies first and then the engineer, I think.
Unite the forces of your resistance, Commander.
I have made a number of interesting
There we go.
discoveries, Commander.
That's what I was waiting for.
The science team has grown particularly interested in this field of research, so much so that their inspiration could lead to vast improvements in our research efficiency. However, we must
That's
act
perfect, because
fast.
that's what we wanted
Despite
anyway.
their brilliance, they are a fickle group.
I'll see that work begins immediately.
This resistance
I'll
contact
contact
stuff is
you when I have a full
essentially
report
your
available.
infrastructure in the game here. So as soon as the engineer gets that cleared, I'm going to build one of those right there, and then we'll start building infrastructure up.
Commander, you should establish contact with the local resistance network as soon as possible. The aliens are undoubtedly moving forward with their plans.
Commander, we can now work to establish contact with local
Here we
resistance
go.
groups operating out of regions around
I
the
missed.
globe.
Don't know how I
Once
forgot
we've
that there was that
collected
one there.
sufficient intel to make contact, we'll need to scan the target region for the operative signal.
Commander, the factions have indicated they know
There,
how to
near
track
power,
down
it says
the
I've got
chosen.
one of 3
We should
contacts.
construct the ring
That means I can only
facility so they have
contact
a place to
2
coordinate.
more
Commander,
locations, but
now that
then
members of the
after
resistance
that I build that
factions have joined us
resistance,
on the Avenger,
it's
I
comms.
thought you might want an area where
After
we
I
could
build that
meet
facility, I'll be able to build
organize
more.
and plan future operations together. We'll start work on the new facility right away, Commander. I'll send word when it's up and running.
You guys sure are a talkative bunch. No, we don't want to fly all the way back. If I just hit X there, it'd send me all the way back here and it'd waste the time it takes to go there and come right back over here to get the engineer.
New course.
Our inspiration did prove beneficial.
Fantastic.
Commander, with the
That
Advent
was so much
officer
quicker than it would have
currently in
been
cold storage,
without them
we should
getting that
perform the
breakthrough
autopsy as soon as possible.
boost. Oh, hey, that'll be
The
great.
scientist is eager to begin, Commander.
Especially since this early in the game, all the assault
Commander,
rifles
we
are
can
so
now
weak.
construct radio relays in any region where we've made contact with the local resistance.
Commander,
You
we
guys
have
just
a
don't want to leave me alone. You're giving me so many alerts.
Hello, Commander. It would seem your recent activities have gotten Advent's attention. Our unwelcome guests are on the move. Advent has been diverting considerable resources and personnel to covert facilities across the globe. The exact details of these operations are highly classified. However, they do have one thing in common. A single word that appears in all their files. Avatar. I believe the black site we had previously uncovered to be but a part of this Avatar project. Based on what we have uncovered so far, its true scope is far greater. This project is being directed from the very top of Advent, from a source I am still unable to determine. All attempts to uncover its identity have met with failure. It is time to take a more direct approach. Though we may not know the exact nature of this Avatar project, we can still disrupt it. We must root out these hidden facilities with the help of local resistance cells, disrupt our enemy's operations, and in the process, uncover the truth. Locate the source of this Avatar project, and then destroy it. Were the enemy to succeed in their efforts, I am certain it would mean the end for us all. I am confident you will take whatever measures necessary to eliminate this threat, Commander.
We're tracking the aliens' progress on this Avatar project here. If they finish what they've started, it sounds like
Man,
it'll
it's
be
just
the end for all of
overlaying
us.
the results of that covert action on top. Yeah.
The Resistance factions have helped to locate our captive soldier.
Great.
We have solid intel on the location of our soldier that was taken prisoner by the Chosen. This is our chance to mount a rescue. Commander,
yeah, let's go
we're
get
gonna
him.
win this war, we need to take every chance we get to fight back. We'll have to be ready to engage the enemy during unpredictable situations.
Right up there, those 3 bars, that's the Avatar project. When it gets completely finished, that's when we're in trouble.
On the ground are ripe for a quiet operation. If we can get our people into place, they should each have concealed positions to work with.
Aristotle the bowcaster, so we can actually hit some things this time around. Now I'm going to back off to show you something here. Usually there's far less of those bars up there. There's more of them because I picked the option at the start to make the game go longer. That actually does make the game a little easier too, because then if there's less of them and you delay doing things like going to the black site, which will knock down the Avatar project and other things that can knock it down, you'll find you'll have to scramble all around the world to knock the Avatar project down so you don't lose. And you can also view what the dark events they currently have are up there.
We finally got a lead on where the Chosen have been holding our soldier captive. It's time we get him out of there. Commander, due to conditions in the field, we'll only be able to
let's just send
limited
them out like that.
personnel on this deployment.
Let's go get our people. Or guy. Only one of them.
Sky Ranger deployed.
Menace ready to deploy.
We've confirmed that the soldier taken captive during our previous operation is being held within a high-security Advent facility not far from your position. If we try to take them back by force, it won't be long before we're totally outnumbered.
I feel like this is the moment where, you know, somebody like Admiral Adama or Commander Shepard should give some kind of stirring speech about how we don't leave our people behind. But I write philosophy, not stirring speeches, so just imagine it or something, I don't know.
The latest intel has our operative being held in the main structure just ahead. We have the advantage of stealth here, so we should try to get in and out as quietly as possible. If the enemy spots us, this is going to get a whole lot harder.
Now, on these missions, there's an interesting dynamic. Obviously, you want to get all the way in here, grab him, and then call for evac. But you can see the security level thing up here. This is something they added in this expansion, where that's only going to go up as the enemies spot up my soldiers and we engage with them. So in theory, maybe I could get all the way there without it going up at all. I don't think I've ever managed to do that because they're usually patrolling and things along those lines, but in theory it could, and the longer we can keep that down, like you said, the easier the mission will be. So this time around, rather than setting up an ambush on the first squad of soldiers I see, I'm probably going to try and avoid the first couple of squads.
Affirmatif, j'y vais.
Can you get in cover down there? No, that's too risky. Go right there by Zeno.
Target position now.
Leave those guys a little... Yeah, there we go. Our guy, one of them's a turret, it's not going to move.
We have Firebrand on standby for evac, Commander, but as soon as she gets in range, the whole compound will go on high alert. We should hold back unless we have the target, or it's an absolute emergency.
So right now I don't have line of sight on the turrets, so I can't... Excuse me, torrent, so I can't see what its detection radius is, but it was right about there. So if it's similar to that soldier's, I think I can be okay putting Pascal right there. Yep, good deal. Okay. You go there, Zeno. You ought to be out of range. See if we can slip in behind this guy's back here. I don't like that it's still not giving me a detection radius on that turret there.
Time to motor.
Ok, je bouge.
I'm trying to decide if I should go straight through or around. Let's see what he can see from there.
Stay clear of those turrets. We're still not entirely sure if they're fully automated or remotely triggered.
Oh wow, that turret's got a lot of detection radius. So we were pretty lucky it didn't pick up Pascal over there.
Orders confirmed. Moving out.
Wait a minute. Okay, that might be useful later.
Affermativo. Ordre bien reçu. J'y vais. Ennemi aperçu dans la zone.
Okay, that's not good. They haven't picked me up yet, but it'll be harder to slip through.
Moving to designated position.
Ah, crap, he's coming back.
Patrouille ennemie en mouvement.
And that guy didn't move at all.
J'avance.
Well, according to game logic, they can open these gates without it making any sound and giving them away. I don't think real-world logic works that way, but...
Ordine ricevuto. Mi muovo.
Yeah, if you go right there, as long as that other guy doesn't walk toward us, we should be all right.
On the move.
We're getting pretty close now, so I'm gonna put Pascal in Overwatch in case that guy does move up and surprise us. Okay. Open the gate for us, Sino. What's the range on his frostbomb? 3. Could I get them both at the same blast? Ooh, I could. Okay, I think it might be time to go loud. I don't think I'm gonna be able to get through that door there without alerting these guys. So... Well, let's give it a try.
Vado in posizione.
You've got some really good stealth going on there, Zeno. Well, just open the gate instead of kicking it then, Aristotle.
On the move.
Yeah, that soldier is, not doing a... Alien soldier's not doing a very good job if I can get my guys that close.
Affirmatif.
What can you hack? Okay. As soon as I hack that, it's going to alert everybody that I'm here.
Affirmative. Moving out. Raggiungo le coordinate.
Can you get it? Perfect.
Position confirmée.
Well, looks like I was wrong. We didn't need to go out to get through the door. Yeah, that one. Not a bad idea. Okay.
Infiltrating our system.
Take a look first. Ooh. Now, if we can get this, that's great. Every time you see one of these, you want to go for it because it makes them so much better hackers in the long run. So... yeah, I'm going to do that. And as soon as I do it, it's going to alert everybody that I'm here, but... nope. No hack boost for Aristotle. That's a shame. That would have made the rest of the game a lot easier. We wouldn't have got the other one anyway.
We're in. Firebrand is in position and the compound
So that's
is on
our
full alert.
evac.
Time to move. On the move.
Alright, go in there and pick him up.
The VIP is secure and we're on the move.
Let's see, I bet you they're gonna come right through that door looking for us.
La voie est libre.
Get into cover and wait for him. That's a long shot for a shotgun. Fantastic!
Controllate.
I really
Prima di
thought he'd missed
avvicinarvi.
that. Oh, they got reinforcements incoming.
The compound has reached maximum alert status. They put out a distress signal and we're already picking up multiple inbound transports. Don't get comfortable.
That means it's time to go.
Moving to position. Moving.
Si può fare.
Okay.
Fatevi sotto.
Zeno and Pascal will have to cover our backs here as we leave.
J'y vais. Affirmatif. Je couvre la zone. I nemici si muovono.
Oh, we're getting to see an Advent priest this early in the game. Those units are pretty pretty annoying. They've got mind control and other psionic abilities. Nice! I think you're gonna get the MVP this mission too.
They may have once possessed.
Hostiles coming in from the sides!
Yeah, we gotta get out of here. There's no way we can take on this many soldiers. Can you make it all the way there? Okay. Can everybody make it there? No.
On my way!
Well, even though he could get out right away, I don't think that'd be wise, because that'd be one less gun to fight back.
Here we go.
Put Mox down, and then you can take a shot next turn, Aristotle. That guy was right here, so I think if I put Zeno right there, I can flank him. Better yet... Ah! There isn't a way to get out there. And still be in cover.
J'espère que ça vaut le coup.
Yeah, take that guy down before he can mind control one of us. Well, cover didn't work, but oh well. Excuse me, concealment didn't work. We're still waiting on cover. Okay, score hit with that, and then we'll get a free shot. Fantastic. And if we hit that, that might take out her. Yeah, score damage on that turret over there. Fantastic. Here comes the rest of them.
I've got eyes on advent troops.
Les ennemis se déplacent, ils nous encerclent.
Sto bene.
Well, he was in good cover. The odds were the turret was gonna miss him. There's more coming still?
Fort d'advent en approche.
Now you'd be able to freeze one of those guys. And that guy's at, looks like 7. So, that's a maybe. Okay, I think we gotta risk that. If Zeno can take that guy out with his sword, then Pascal can freeze the other one, and everybody can get clear pretty easily, as long as that other guy doesn't come up and get us. So I'm gonna have Zeno go this way so we'll be in cover. Fantastic. You're really kicking butt for us, Zeno.
L'ho preso in pieno. Y'a quoi par là?
little worried that guy that ran up by the acid blast is going to now have good line of sight on Pascal, but I don't see a better option.
Alright. Yeah, hold on.
Oh, of course, there's no cover in the landing zone. Evac zone, whatever.
I'm all over it.
Now, I could evac him, but again, that's going to leave these two guys with one less partner to shoot for him, so I'm going to have him wait another minute. I think the reinforcements are just going to keep coming until we finish this mission at this point. Wonderful. The idiot ran into the acid. Yep, they're just going to keep coming. Everybody can make it there? Okay. But neither of them can make it there and shoot. Oh well. It'd be nice to take a few more of the guys with me. Come on, miss. Miss, you got acid on you, miss. Ah! Oh, that could have been worse.
Forte chiaro. Faccio I bagagli.
Alright, let's get out of here.
VIP secure and in position for evac.
All XCOM operatives are secure. Firebrand is returning to base.
Everything by the numbers. Mission accomplished.
Now if only they'd given us like a nice little nuclear device or something to leave behind in the cell so we could have blown everybody up. I did just mount a rescue attempt. Didn't you watch what happened? Alright, let's take another photo. Resist the Xenos. Sure.
If anything, I fear we are making it easier for them to catalog our people.
Well, in this particular case, all they'd have to do is read a history of philosophy book to catalog the people, so, don't think you're really paying attention there, Tegan, whatever your name is. Yep, Xeno was the MVP of that mission again. He keeps this up, he'll be the first soldier to make colonel.
It wasn't easy, but Mox has been safely returned, Commander. He's eager to get back into the fight.
That's a detail I like, that you can see in the back there, that the dropship there, actually, they show it, its elevator moving it back down into the ship. There's a lot of little details like that in this game that show that it was a great labor of love by the people who made it, and I really appreciate that.
I am glad to return to your service, Commander. I will not forget what you and your soldiers
No one gets
have
left
done.
behind, Mox. No one.
Efficiently executed and no casualties. You can lead the
Well, then why don't you step aside and give me all your resources? Okay, so... yeah, just like I thought. Anscombe and Hagel are gonna get... oops, wrong thing there. Anscombe and Hagel are gonna get promotions there. Anscombe's a sniper, And what they turn Hagel into. And another sniper. Well, I didn't expect that. And then we got Mox back. Now, because this again is about philosophers, we're gonna rename him. He's gonna be...
I don't know where people are getting those damn Advent burgers, but if I find another wrapper stuffed under one of these command consoles, there's gonna be hell.
Thomas Hobbes. Because that way, eventually, we'll be able to give him the nickname Leviathan, and that seems appropriate for him. Now, I'm not going to even try to make his face look like Thomas Hobbes, because when you're a skirmisher, excuse me, when the character's a skirmisher, that's what they look like. And there isn't really any way to make their face look more normal without not making them a skirmisher, and we don't want that. Okay, great. So you might notice that my voice sounds different. I had to split this recording up, and during the first half I was still suffering from that cold I mentioned earlier. But now I'm better, and I imagine I probably sound a lot better too.
Now that we've established contact, we can scan at this location to gain additional support for our cause.
You know them as they were, the soldiers of Advent. Now they are free to choose. If you stay your course, Commander...
Yeah, we just spent a whole lot of time on Mox looking at him and changing him.
Commander, I believe it is time that we meet. I am Betos, first of the freed Advent.
You know, I'm pretty sure the voice actress of Betos here is also from Star Trek.
Mox was new to our cause, but he believed in our people's freedom, in this alliance, in you. Commander, I shall do the same. My skirmishers stand ready.
Well, 2 extra turns, that's useful. Oh, that's a whole lot better though. That will make hacking a whole lot easier. But again, I'm not going to get to implement any of that until another month or 16 days has gone by for the next supply drop. So that skirmisher base, there it is. That lets me build faster, and that'll be pretty useful later on, but I want to go over there and get that engineer. Oh, shut up, you. We've heard you talk an awful lot, but we don't need to hear you anymore.
In you, I see a shadow of my own creation.
Ah, here we go. So still only one option, because I haven't expanded. The sit rep here looks nice, it'll make things a lot easier. But I'm a little worried that Chosen is going to try and ambush us since she just talked to us. Still, there's no other option, and you should almost never skip these missions. So let's get a squad outfitted as if the Chosen's going to come ambush us here. Aristotle and Hegel removed. Make all the weapons available. We're going to want Zeno. Even though they're both tired, we're going to want the Philippa Foot, the Reaper, as well, because she's the adversary of that Chosen. Let's give Mox the Dragon rounds so he sets guys on fire, because he actually can fire 2 times a turn, and give him the autoloader. So he'll be able to keep doing that longer. And we're going to give Plato here the acid grenade, because that burns away armor, and the Chosen has quite a bit of armor. And lastly, you go over here to Zeno, and let's make sure he's got the right shotgun and the Hunter's Axe so he can take that extra throw, and give him a medkit as well in case anybody gets bleeding out. And let's go.
Sky Ranger deployed.
Menace ready to deploy.
We've been given a prime opportunity to disrupt Advent's operations and delay their current plans. One of their field commanders has decided to tour the actual field, and we're going to make sure he never leaves there alive. Once you hit the ground, find our target and eliminate him as quickly as possible. Menace 1-5, we're tracking the Advent General and his escorts, but we don't have an exact fix on their location. Sweep the area and eliminate the target along with any other hostiles that stand in your way.
Commander, we managed to access an old reconnaissance satellite passing over the AO. We've got a complete picture of the area. There shouldn't be any surprises on this one.
Yeah, how could what Central said be true if we've actually got a spy satellite over the area giving us eyes on everything? I still don't see the General anywhere, but it should give us eyes on everything around here. Can see all the patrols and everybody. So where is he? Gotta be around here somewhere. Well, that's the edge of the map. Those are just some civilians. Ah, there he is. See how he's got more health? Alright, so we should be able to move up and maybe stage a good ambush of our own since we've got eyes on the entire map here. But I'll send Philippa up first just to be on the safe side.
Their patrol is coming. Volk says I am to obey.
I think maybe what I'll try to do is hopefully I can slip between those two patrols, maybe hug that building there, and go over there and try and ambush the General before these guys even know we're here.
Agli ordini.
Getting it done.
Moving quickly.
Which way are they going to move? Oh, perfect. They're moving away. So that should hopefully give us an opening there that we can just slip right through. Well, maybe. We'll see. He's coming toward us. Great. Alright. I just think we're still a little too far away to launch an ambush. Can we blow anything up? Hey, yeah. Shame nobody's in range.
My life is in your hands.
Yeah, keep the cover in between
A patrol is
us and them. Any other options here? Not really. General's just out of range of that.
Ricevuto. Mi muovo sull'obiettivo.
One at a time, step up. Yeah, that's probably our best bet. Slip through right there.
A confident approach.
Sto andando.
How much closer can you get there, Philippa? Yeah, that looks like a good spot.
An alien scouting party. Objective in range.
Good deal. Now we just need to get everybody one step closer, and we'll have him.
Take them out before they can escape. We won't get another shot at this.
Oh no, they're coming back. Stop, guys. Come on. Please. Ah, crap. Well, there goes the surprise. Oh boy. I bet the general's gonna be in range of us and he's gonna see us and shoot at us too. Yep. Well, this isn't good. Looks like we're gonna get ambushed ourselves instead of the other way around. Alright, let's see what we can do here. Maybe she can blow some of them up. Or, yeah. Well, she'll get that sectoid if we hit that. Yeah, I guess hitting the sectoid's better than nothing. Shouldn't hit any of my guys. I guess that's what we'll do. Here we go. Watch this, it'll be cool. I love how big those explosions are when the Reapers use remote start. I don't like those odds. 60, 56. Get some high ground and get an aim boost.
Tactical movement.
Okay. There we go. 93. Pull that guy up here and kill him. Good. Now kill him. Yes!
Their service is over.
Okay, not... Let's see, 7 there, 7 there. Same odds on either, so do I want to get the commander or that melee guy? Well, let's get the commander. Wonderful! There was a chance he wouldn't kill him completely there. Now, Plato, move up there and flank this guy. See how that works out for you. Yeah, wonderful. Kill him. What? How can you miss that? You're right next to him. That's ridiculous. I hate it when this game does that. So let's just set him on fire. See how that goes.
We're picking up an inbound Advent transport. The aliens are going to try and extract the general.
Yep, that's what I was afraid of.
And I will end this quickly.
So we're in trouble now, even though I tried to prepare for her with only 4 guys this early in the game. And now look, oh! I thought for sure Plato was dead there. We got lucky. What? How did Mox get hurt? That... He wasn't even being shot at.
Wherever you presume to strike, I will be watching.
Shut up. How did... Oh... I see. The missed shot took out the elevated ground that Hobbes was standing on there, and he fell. That's kind of annoying. So anyhow, this might be unwinnable against the Chosen this early in the game with only 4 guys with the primitive weapons we start off with. Maybe we'll get really lucky, I don't know, we'll see. Hopefully if we move Philippa up, she can spot her. Spot the Chosen before the Chosen closes in on us, but no luck there. I think rather than moving everybody up all the way, I'm going to try and hang back here a little bit, as you can see me doing. And hopefully that way the Chosen won't get the first shot at us, and we'll get a first shot at her instead. If it was later in the game and I had 5 or 6 squad members and some better weapons, I would probably play more aggressively, but here I don't see another option. Yep, there we go. The burning killed that melee guy. Excuse me, not... he's called a stun lancer. I don't know why I forgot that for a moment. Oh, wonderful. Philippa did reveal her. There she is. Now, this is why I say it might be unwinnable. Just look at how much health she has. She's got 3 armor, I mean... and we're still at basic ballistic weapons. It's gonna take an immense... we're gonna have to land an immense amount of shots and get really lucky to beat her, but I'll do the best I can here. See, kind of unfair the game threw at us again this early on. I'd expect this on Legendary difficulty, but not Commander. Okay, so let's burn away some of this armor if we can. Use the Claymore first, and hopefully that'll also take out that cover she's hiding behind so my other guys can take shots at her.
Placing explosive.
Come on. Where's Plato? There he is. Now, I'm going to try and set it off with a acid grenade, because the acid will also burn through armor, and that way I can preserve Philippa's shot. And that'll allow us to do more damage, I hope. Here we go. Yes! No more armor, but look at just how little of her health we took away. Oh. He should have line of sight on her. Well, that's not bad, but... oh. Well, that's lucky. That whole area should be covered with acid. Can I, He doesn't get line of sight on her either? What? That Claymore should have completely blown that wall away and opened her up for flanking shots. Seems unfair. Well. No, not bad, not great.
That will not be enough to stop me.
Is there any way we can get Hobbes in range there? Well, let's just give it a try. Maybe the preview's not working. No, it was working. Alright, we'll just go to cover. And we might as well have Philippa take her shot here. What? How do you miss at point-blank range like that? Well, at least she wasn't revealed. That's something, I guess. No. Do you? Oh. We're getting pretty lucky. That's 2 missed shots. But now the car's on fire. I'm going to have to move Hobbes out of there. Oh. Oh. Man.
You will join your compatriots soon enough.
I knew she was going to do something like that, but now he's down next to that burning car, which is going to blow up. And as soon as it blows up, it's going to kill him. Alright, what can we do here? Oh, good. We can get Plato up there. Maybe pick him up and carry him out of the way.
You're heavier than you look.
If you were just been a little further away, that wouldn't have worked. So, pretty lucky there.
Moving out.
Yeah, go get behind that concrete barrier and that'll protect you from the explosion. I'm kidding, the game doesn't work like that. How does... No, that should be... He shouldn't have to run through the acid to get her. That doesn't make sense. He should be able to kick open that door. I guess we're just gonna have to do it manually. Yeah, let's throw that axe at him. What? There we go. Ah! How is it we're getting so lucky and so unlucky at the same time in this mission? Okay, hit her again. Better! Hey! A critical hit, good deal. Not good odds there. See how she can move further when she's in concealment? Alright, try this again. How do you only get 4 damage on them when you're the adversary? Well, again, so she's not revealed, which is lucky, but she didn't do much damage, which is unlucky. It's maybe the game's balancing it out for us. It's karma or whatever. Oh, it doesn't matter now she got spotted. What's he gonna do? Huh. I thought he was gonna try and flank at one of us. Oh no. She can knock both of those guys over. We're in big trouble. Ho 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 ho! I don't believe it. They almost never can resist that. That was really, really lucky. So what do we got here? She's near those cars and that gas tank. I bet we can blow her up. Yeah. Come on. Oh, perfect. This is gonna be beautiful. Take that, alien. Yes! 12 damage. That's... I think we're gonna win this. This should kill her. How? And no, she survives.
An unusual weapon, not nearly as primitive as
Let's get Plato and Hobbes closer there to Xeno, who's got the med kit. And I'll go ahead and put him down in case I need to fire at her. But I think we might actually have her, because if she's still burning from the acid and the fire, then she shouldn't survive this next round. Yes! I really cannot believe we just won that. We got so lucky there.
I must retreat for now, but we will not be apart for long.
We showed the Chosen that the Resistance is here to stay, Commander. Now we just have to find that thing and put it down for good.
And we get lucky again.
Position is no good anymore.
You should not have missed that shot. Xeno can't make it all the way over there. What do you got? No way to get in there and flank him.
I go where you tell me.
And the remote start needs a turn or two to recharge. Yeah.
No problem.
Okay. Pick him up, and we'll carry him right over there next to Xeno. But go right there so we're still in cover from that general. Put him down. And looks like we'll get Xeno over there to save him just in time. Gotta make sure I get right next to him. Excellent. And this is why you always bring a medkit. We've had to stabilize people like this, what, 2-3 times now? Oh! So lucky. I'm glad I had her hunker down. over there so he can't... Oh, that might work. No, he was just out of range. That's a shame. I wasted that shot. I could have flanked him instead. Okay, move up there, where you can get close enough to attack next turn, but he shouldn't be able to flank Xeno that way. And you do the same, Plato. And we're just gonna have to leave Mox there for now. Alright. Blast him away. See if that'll destroy some of his cover. Oh, might have taken him down to half from full.
They're trying to flank us.
Oh no. Oh. He used a flashbang on her.
What? What does that even mean?
You know, I ask that a lot when I read Continental philosophers. What does that even mean? I didn't know the generals could use flashbangs. So the question here is, do I have Xeno use the gun or the sword? 4 to 6 with 69%, 6 to 8 with 10%. I think the gun. Good. I don't know if the sword might have turned out better, but oh well.
Moving.
I don't think Plato's got a shot on him. Nope. But Philippa does. She can flank him. Hopefully with disorientation she can still hit him. See, she's losing some aim points there. Yes!
Volk says hello.
Menace 1-5, kill confirmed. That's
all
how
right.
it's done. We have confirmation. Mission accomplished. Great job, Commander. We sent the Chosen back to their masters with a few scars to show for their effort. If they decide to face us again, we'll be ready.
Well, that went really, really well. We got very, very lucky with all the shots they missed, and yeah, that could have easily gone the other way and been an absolute disaster. This early in the game, it's more common for the Chosen to just wipe everybody out.
Peacekeeping forces assure us they will soon be brought to justice.
So Philippa was our MVP, doing the most damage. And nobody died. That's really amazing. I still can't believe that I pulled that off.
The elders would have us believe that the Chosen are beyond our reach.
Now everybody should get promotions out of that, not just 3 of them.
Both will fall.
Let's see. Target definition is useful, but I think I like to go with shrapnel because I use the Reaper's Claymores a lot. And same deal as I did with Pascal here. Shredder's just more useful all in all than Blast Padding is. So, let's see. I tend to think Tactical Rigging is the best one here because that means next time he'll be able to carry a grenade and the Dragon rounds.
Excellent work, Commander. Your efforts continue to bolster the resistance movement across the globe.
That was more than excellent work. That was a bloody miracle. Alright, so we're a little over time, so I'll go ahead and save the game and we'll pick up again next time. So it occurred to me that now that we have gone over Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle, there is a potential for explaining a key distinction in philosophy here, and that is the distinction between analytic, continental, and skeptical philosophy. This is because, despite the fact that they're not typically thought of this way, you can see the early threads in these 3 ways of doing philosophy in the Greek Trinity. If you start seriously studying or reading philosophy, eventually you're going to come across these terms of analytic philosophy and continental philosophy, and you'll also probably see them pitted against each other. I first saw them when I was looking at a list of the best universities for philosophy, and the list divided up schools by whether they were Analytic or Continental. I was quite confused, as I had really no idea what this distinction was and which type of philosophy I should practice or support. But, just finish watching this and you'll know more than I did then. Now, there are many different ways of organizing and categorizing philosophy. I alluded to one of them in the very first episode with the pre-Socratic and Socratic distinction that Socrates' life gives us. Or you can also divide up philosophy by historical periods. For example, modern philosophy is considered as everything that's philosophy from René Descartes on to now. Or we can, divide it up by geography. There's often a distinction made between Western philosophy and Eastern or Asian philosophy. And we can also distinguish between various philosophical movements, like scholastic philosophy is a type of philosophy that was primarily practiced in Europe during the Middle Ages, and existentialism is a type that was also primarily practiced in Europe, but this was during the 19th and 20th centuries. And there are also some other ways of categorizing and organizing philosophy, and most of these methods are legitimate in at least one sense or another. Now, a common thread in the ways that I just mentioned is that they use the facts about the philosophers and the systems involved to make these distinctions. That is, these ways look at where the philosophies and the philosophers fell in history, geography, what they focused on, what they taught, and so on and so forth. Conversely, looking at philosophy through the analytic versus continental versus skeptical lens distinguishes between the ways philosophy is done. That is, it tends to be about the method involved. And I think the easiest way to understand these methods is if you set them up in contrast to each other. So, in a very loose sense, an analytic philosopher tries to break things down and categorize them into neat and tight systems of thought. They attempt to make and do philosophy in ways that are as precise and neat as math is. It greatly values clarity, precision, and will usually appeal to formal logic. Continental philosophers are much more comfortable with terms and ideas that are vague and difficult to define. Whereas an analytic philosopher will attempt to give you a formal argument for his conclusion, a continental philosopher will probably tell you a story that leads to the idea. The analytic strives for, and in many cases thinks he is analyzing things from an objective viewpoint, whereas a continental probably regards that type of objectivity as impossible. A good example of this is found in Bertrand Russell's great book, A History of Western Philosophy. Russell is widely regarded as an analytic philosopher, and side note, it is a really great book that I recommend. In this book, he covers both the facts of the philosophers' lives as well as their philosophical ideas and the systems of thought. However, he doesn't attempt to draw or establish any connection between the two. He views the philosophy of Aristotle as completely distinct from the facts of Aristotle's life. Conversely, the Continental would probably want to argue that this is a mistake, as we need to consider Aristotle's rules of logic, his four causes, his golden mean, and so on and so forth, in light of the facts about his life. Continental philosophy tends to attempt to be holistic, whereas analytic philosophy tends to be a bit more reductionistic. People like Russell, Ludwig Wittgenstein, G.E. Moore, and some others are regarded as prominent analytics, and the term first came into prominent usage in about the early 1900s. And this term actually makes a great deal of sense, as if you read guys like Russell and Wittgenstein, you can see that they are analytic in the normal dictionary sense of the word. Now, the term continental philosophy originated because it seemed as though the people doing this type of philosophy were almost entirely on the continent of Europe. Strictly speaking, it's not true that they were all on the continent of Europe, but the etymology of terms has never been something that makes a perfect sense. Prominent continental philosophers are guys like Henry Bergson, Martin Heidegger, Jean-Paul Sartre, and there are some more recent ones like Michel Foucault and Jacques Derrida. Just attempt to read any of these guys and compare them with the analytics, and you should very easily see the distinction at work here. So here are some other analogies to help you see the difference. Analytic philosophers are a bit like systematic theologians who attempt to make theology and study of the divine fit within and make sense within a certain framework, whereas continental philosophers would be more like religious mystics who speak of God in poetic and metaphorical terms. Or you could also think of analytics as a bit like scientists who attempt to understand the world through a rigorous method, and continentals as a bit like poets who are also attempting to understand the world, but see the rigorous method as too restrictive and too narrow, i.e. they think it rules things out that are important. So with this understanding of the two methods, I think it's quite easy to see the threads of analytic philosophy at work within Aristotle and the threads of continental philosophy at work within Plato. It just becomes obvious that Aristotle was much more analytic and Plato was much more continental. And, of course, here I'm comparing the two methods at their best. I'll do some criticism of them a little later. No, I haven't yet mentioned skeptical philosophy, and that's because it's actually quite easy to understand. Most people have a pretty good idea of what it means to be skeptical. If you have ever expressed doubt that something was true, or that someone was telling you the truth, then you behave skeptically. And at the simplest point, that's all skeptical philosophy is, expressing doubt about ideas, things, or people. So it's pretty easy to see how Socrates fits this mold, and you've got the threads of skepticism at work within what Socrates was all about. Now, as I alluded to in the episode on Socrates, there is a legitimate and illegitimate way to use skepticism. So, in contemporary society, it is generally assumed that being skeptical is a good thing, i.e., we tend to think that the person who doubts something is probably smarter than the person who believes it. But this is not always the case. Doubt influences actions the same as belief does, and thus it needs justification the same as belief does. If you're going to be rational, you need to have good reason for saying no, just like you need a good reason for saying yes. If my car needs fuel, but I doubt the nearest gas station actually has gas, then that doubt will influence what I do. Likewise, if I believe that station has gas, the belief will influence what I do. The reason it is important to have good justification for beliefs is that beliefs are the primary reason why we do things. I do and do not do certain things, like go to the gas station, because I believe those things will help me achieve the goals I want, like having a car with a full tank of gas. Or I believe they will prevent me from achieving those goals, i.e., I don't go to a gas station that I think has no gas. A doubt functions the same way a belief does. It causes and influences behavior. To believe X is true is to make a de facto claim that X in some way corresponds to reality. If I actually believe that my car has a full tank of gas, then I think I have a car that really does have a full tank of gas and I will act accordingly. So I'll drive right by the next gas station instead of stopping. But if I truly doubt that my car has a full tank of gas, then I think I don't know how much gas is in the tank, and so consequently I'll stop at the next gas station and try to fill it up. Hence, doubt requires justification just as belief does. Doubt is the negation of belief, much the same as no is the negation of yes, but whether I answer someone yes or no, I need to have reasons and justifications for doing so. And likewise, there are legitimate and illegitimate uses of analytic and continental philosophy. Sometimes it makes an awful lot of sense to break things down and consider them in a reductionistic fashion, and sometimes it's a very stupid thing to do. For example, when I go see a doctor, I want him to reduce me to just the medical issues my body has and treat those. It makes no sense and would waste a lot of time if he attempted to consider the whole of my personhood, i.e., also consider things like the car I drive, the job I have, how I treat my family, the various virtues I do or do not have, my philosophical and religious beliefs, and so on. But on the other hand, if I treat my family and friends in this reductionistic way, they would be quite offended, and rightly so. To love and appreciate our family and friends, we should not simply reduce them to things we like or dislike, but try to think of them as whole persons. And there are some more directly philosophical ways of illustrating this too. The analytic method works great for studying things like logic, philosophy of science, language and communication, metaphysics, political philosophy, and some other things. In fact, a lot of disciplines that we now consider science, such as biology, physics, and geology, were originally considered natural philosophy, and it's easy to see how, when they were under philosophy, these disciplines would have been better understood by analytic than continental philosophy. Now, the trouble with analytic philosophy is that it seems to have a very hard time dealing with many questions of ultimate importance. For example, what is the good? What is the meaning of life? What makes an act just or unjust? And so on. These are extremely important questions, but analytic philosophy seems ill-equipped to deal with them, as the concepts at work in these questions seem to defy the precise and tight definitions that analytic philosophy strives for. Likewise, continental philosophy seems to work best when it is dealing with the concepts and ideas that defy or elude analytic analysis. A great example of this is aesthetic philosophy. Every sane person agrees that there are things in the world that are beautiful and aesthetically pleasing, and other things that are not. And while there is some disagreement over how beautiful some certain things are, i.e., is this object more beautiful than that one, there is a surprisingly large amount of agreement over what is beautiful versus what is not beautiful. They don't make scenic turnouts overlooking garbage dumps for this reason. And likewise, many men differ as to what they think makes a certain woman more or less beautiful, but no sane person argues that supermodels are ugly. But the problem here is that defining beauty in a strict analytical sense is, at the very least, an extremely hard thing to do. I'm unaware of any successful attempt to do so by anyone. So what we have here is that there is something of substance in the concept of beauty, and it seems that this concept is understood by everyone, or at least nearly everyone, but we cannot seem to break it down and define it analytically, like analytic philosophy tries to do. So you're probably never going to convince someone that a certain thing is beautiful by giving them a formal argument about it. But you might persuade them by telling them a good story about that point, showing them a movie, showing them an excellent work of art like a painting, and so on. Now, another point that Continental philosophy attempts to do is metaphilosophy. That is, it attempts to look at how and why we even do philosophy. And this can also be a good or a bad thing. Taking a step back and considering things is a good philosophical practice, and so it's also good to do it with respect to philosophy as well. Because it tends to assume a high level of objectivity, analytic philosophy tends to be pretty bad at doing this type of metaphilosophy. However, this can also cause problems. For example, some Continentals have questioned why we need to have the laws of logic as the basis of philosophy. Why should it be the case that there are no contradictions, and how do we know that everything does make sense? They argue that we have to assume these things before we can get started doing philosophy, and then question why we do so. And now in one sense this is true, but it causes the Continental problems. It is true that we assume the validity of logic when we argue and do philosophy, and it also is true that it is at best very difficult to find a single and absolute foundation for logic that does not also appeal to that same logic and thus risk circularity. But the trouble is that when he questions the use of logic, the Continental makes use of that very same logic and thus contradicts himself. Making a rational argument requires the use of logic, so how can you make a rational argument that calls logic into question? It seems this cannot be done, despite the fact that many Continentals have tried to do so. Some have taken it so far as to question the validity of reason itself, which is obviously just irrational. Now, the major problem with Continental philosophy tends to be that it is often very vague and unclear. There are a whole host of reasons for this. A legitimate one is that it's very difficult to be clear and precise about the things Continental philosophers are trying to talk about. For example, on a high metaphysical level, how is it that language communicates? Now, we know that language communicates, otherwise you wouldn't understand what I'm saying to you now, but explaining how it does this is very difficult because it's impossible to step out of the language and analyze it from above, which is what the Continental philosophers are trying to do when they analyze language. But Continentals will also often use the vague nature of their philosophy to gloss over serious problems with their systems and arguments and make up and redefine their own terms. Further, some of them, like Derrida for example, are simply terrible writers. Derrida actually seemed to get a kick out of making his writing as hard to understand as possible. So, to wrap up here, if you're reading a philosopher and he uses a lot of systematic arguments, he rigorously defines his terms, and it's fairly clear what he's trying to do, you're probably reading an analytic philosopher. If, on the other hand, he's telling a lot of stories, making use of a lot of analogies and metaphors, avoiding formal arguments and making up his own terms, you're probably reading a Continental philosopher. And if he's just questioning everything, well, then he's a skeptic. Now, while I tend to lean toward the analytic side of philosophy, as I like how rigorous and clear it attempts to be, it does seem to me that there's a legitimate place for all three methods. I think part of being a good philosopher is learning when it's appropriate to be skeptical and when you should use the analytic method or when you should use the Continental method. Just for example, whenever you first hear a new idea or argument, it's always appropriate to listen with some cautious skepticism. It might be a great idea or argument, it might not be, and you should require its proponent to overcome a reasonable level of skepticism before he convinces you. Likewise, it seems perfectly obvious to me that analytic philosophy is the best method for engaging with things like logic and political philosophy. If a politician is being vague and unclear on the details of his ideas, then call him out on it and demand he be systematic and clear. But Continental philosophy does work best for things that seem to be, by their very nature, vague or hard to define. It's extremely difficult to give a precise and analytical definition of justice that doesn't make any external appeals or assumptions. Plato essentially spends most of the Republic attempting to do this, and doesn't get there, so he winds up telling a story, i.e., he goes with the Continental method. So, all three methods have their place, and they mostly only cause problems when they step out of their own lane. For example, attempting to do logic with Continental philosophy, using the analytic method with beauty,
or being skeptical of the very notion of reason itself. So the best way to learn more about these distinctions is just go read some Analytic and some Continental philosophers. Go read Russell and Wittgenstein, then read Derrida and Foucault, and compare the two groups. That's quite a bit of work, but you'll learn a lot. So next time I'll take a short step back and we'll look at Xeno, and of course, standard YouTube editing stuff. Leave me a comment, subscribe, and give me a like. Thanks.